Redditors whose job requires them to go into other people's homes for a living. What's the most bizarre thing you've seen or found? Realtor here. I was showing a house that was supposed to be empty. I knocked and rang the bell to make sure. Once inside I walked into a bedroom and found the current tenant, butt ass naked, absolutely slamming on an electronic drum kit in what was a mostly soundproof room. He never noticed I was there, but I'll never forget him. Pet sitter here. If you don't find a secure place to put your Shrek's toys, your dogs may bring them to guest in your home. Oh boy, time for me to dust off one of my classics. I used to be pool guy. I used to go into people's backyards to clean their pools. One week, it was a 4-day week due to a holiday, so I'm not going on the scheduled days. I'm cramming 5 days of work into a 4-day week. It's a hot summer day, and I walk into the backyard of this house, get through both gates, and I'm met with an odd sight. These two kids, maybe 14 or 15, are absolutely butt ass naked, cuddled on a poolside recliner. I look at them, they look at me. I immediately turn around, and they run inside. I see the owners all the time, but I've never seen these kids before. Next week I go, the wife was outside, and we started chit-chatting. I ask her if she's had any visitors recently. She says no. I'll let her know that I saw some kids in her backyard, and she cut me off. She says, yeah, surprised you haven't met them. Let me introduce you. They were brother and sister. They cancelled service within 2 months. Back in my teenage babysitting days, I regularly watched 3 kids whose parents kept one of those enormous packages of hot dogs out on the kitchen counter. Everyone in that household would just wander by and grab a room temperature hot dog as a snack whenever they felt like. I babysat for them 2 to 3 times per week for over a year and never not saw those hot dogs. I wonder about them all the time. Former babysitter. One house, a toilet in the hallway. Not a bathroom, just a toilet literally in the middle of a carpeted hallway. Middle of the hallway, but against a wall. That totally worked. It was parallel to the wall, not perpendicular. There was zero cover around it, and it faced the stairway. So if you used it, and somebody came up the stairs, you were going to be making eye contact. I never understood it. It looked like someone just set a toilet down for a minute. There was a full bathroom 6 feet away connected to the hallway. 2 seriously disturbing things I found as a termite contractor. Bones from a dead body. Was under a crawl space and found a bone that looked like a human femur. Turns out it was. Called cops. Gave a report. Got the F out of there. I noticed a plaque the size of a large clock above someone's mantle. It had names where numbers would be and a small trinket below the name. I wished I would have never asked about it, because it turns out it was the preserved circumcision skin from all the men in their family. There is literally no appropriate response here. I literally just left the room and acted like I never heard anything. I saw a woman with a jacuzzi in the center of her carpeted bedroom that she and her 4 foster children bathed in. No shower head or curtain. They also all shared a toilet in her bedroom that had no walls/door around it. Absolutely no privacy. All of the kids slept in the living room while she slept in the master bedroom. During my home inspection I found 3 doors that had been completely plastered over and couldn't be accessed. She informed me that one was a full bathroom and the other 2 were bedrooms. None were accessible, but she insisted that she use them to store her tools. I was so creeped the F out. There was no possible way for her to get to her tools from those rooms. The kids could have had bedrooms and there was no need for anyone to be bathing or using the toilet in front of anyone else. One of them was a 12-year-old girl. Imagine getting your first period in that home. I did everything I could to help the kids move. Installed sod at this lady's newly built home. She was in her mid-60s maybe. Anyway, she didn't know where the valve to the exterior tap was in the basement and asked if I could go down and turn it on for her. No problem. I go down the stairs to the unfinished basement and it's pitch dark. I find a light switch and then suddenly there is a 400-pound man naked and asleep on a mattress 3 feet away from me. She never mentioned this before I went downstairs. In the 90s, I had a summer job at a small electronic repair shop. I had to deliver and reconnect an elderly woman's 32-inch television. This was the tube kind. It was huge and heavy. Get to her trailer, and she answers the door. Woman in her 70s wearing a thin cotton shirt as a dress that barely reached her mid-thigh, was essentially transparent. No underwear. Everything on full display. Kept my eyes averted as I hauled the TV in and reconnected it to the cable box and VCR. When I was done, she took me to her bedroom. All 4 walls were covered in crosses and crucifixes of all shapes and sizes. She pointed out gold-plated ones, a crucifix made from olive wood from Israel, another of lapis lazuli, etc. She spent a good half hour telling me the story of each one. A jar full of bed bugs. They wanted to show us that they indeed had bed bugs. You could see the damn things in the daylight all over the furniture. We knew. Had a job doing estimates for insulation and other attic work. One time I showed up at a house who needed insulation quote, and as soon as they opened the door I started gagging from a smell that was burning my eyes and nose. First thought was like that smells like ammonia. I fought through it and asked the owner where the attic access was, and he opened up the garage, and I crap you not, there was cat and dog fesses everywhere with water stains all over the concrete that was most definitely urine soaked through permanently. The smell of ammonia was so overwhelming I thought I was gonna pass out from oxygen deprivation. The fesses was everywhere and piled on top of other crap. You couldn't take one step in the garage without stepping on it. Still standing outside the garage door I saw the access had no ladder, so told the guy I would be right back with my ladder. I got in my car and took a few minutes to catch my breath, then called my boss as I noped out of there. My boss called animal control, but have no idea what happened after that. Not really bizarre, but was tasked with removing a rattlesnake from an elderly lady's home. What was found was her Shrek's toy lodged between furniture and the wall while on / vibrating. Poor thing thought it was a snake's rattle lol. Turned it off with gloves and told her the snake had been removed. Makes me laugh. She was a sweet lady. So much XXX. So many PPS. Several urns of cremated remains. When you do estate auctions, you often find out that dad had a vast XXX collection, or that grandma collected every phallus decoration she could lay her hands on. The urns always make me sad. Like, who in the heck leaves Uncle Bob up on the mantle and thinks meh, the auctioneers can sell him? Spoiler, no we can't. I'm a painter, and in the process of covering the clothes in a wardrobe with plastic and masking up, I uncovered a box that was only covered by the clothes hanging over it that had possibly the biggest strap-on kit I've ever seen. Easily a 10+ INCH strap-on. I should mention I mainly do repaints of retirement homes. The mold folks wild. I used to work in frontline child protection. I've seen hoarder homes that were unsafe to enter. One place the laundry was the dog's bathroom and there was months-old dog crap everywhere, meth labs, and all sorts of crap. One of the worst things I saw was a crap-smeared room with a regular baby crib that the parents had put lid on it, turning it into a cage. The child was 5. I'm a plumber. Went down to service the boiler in the basement and the home owner walked me through their bedroom. One wall had all the whips and spanking utensils, another had all the chains, cuffs, ball gags. There was a glass cabinet that one would expect to find fine china or expensive trinkets. Nope, dildos and vibrators, all shapes, sizes, and colors. Not one but 2 Shrek's swings hanging from the ceiling, a giant sawhorse with rings mounted to it, a medieval looking rack and a small cage. I mean, to each their own and all, but at least give a fella a heads up before you walk him through the set of 50 Shades of Grey. I would frequently go into homes on all conditions with buyers and sellers. There was a really cool historic house listed in a good neighborhood. The guy was a hoarder, and he had torn off all the plaster and filled the walls with books. I've seen people living in the most deplorable conditions and dealt with so many odd people. Edit, the books were in every room of the house. Floor to ceiling. Probably late, but former pest control tech. I was sent to a house for stink bugs or something benign like that. When I walked into the kitchen, First room I entered through the garage, didn't even have my shoe covers on yet. I picked up a bed bug off the floor. I asked them if this is what they were seeing, and they confirmed that it was. Decided to humor myself and go upstairs to the bedroom, where I found walls that seemed to be more bed bug than paint. They were even in the attic and basement. Come to find out, the people that called us out were actually the homie Arwana's son and daughter-in-law who lived out of state and hadn't seen them in over a year, only flew in because they hadn't heard from them in a couple days. The mother had fallen down the basement stairs and the father was bedridden. She was fine, no broken bones, just old and weak. They were also too prideful to ask for the help they desperately needed. Thankfully their family was able to get them the help they needed, including making the home entirely functional from the first floor until they could get them moved into a smaller home. We had to do inventory on a woman's Shrek's toys after her house caught on fire. She had over $1,000 worth of dildos and vibrators that filled an entire contractor's trash bag. We accidentally kicked the bag one day and we had to dig through all of them to turn one of them off. That's it for now. Thank you for watching the video. Leave your comments below. See you soon.